I'm here with Sara Kujawa, and she is a lovely person and a good friend of mine, and a spouse in a former life, my wifey.
Yep.
Well, I think she was my husbandy, but we just call each other wifey.
That's right.
She was the apple of my eye, the one who started my engine, revved my engine.
It's so funny.
I was having thoughts with that. I'm like, okay, let's not go there. Sara, her son Adam passed away in 2014 from a work accident, and this really spurred her to her awakening. Now she's this amazing healer and channeler, and she runs a group on Facebook called Doing Grief Differently with Adam and Sara, which is amazing. So tell anyone you know if they need that type of support. It's an amazing group. Hi, Sara.
Hi, thank you. You're so sweet. You're so sweet.
I'm just being honest. We met, when did we meet? Like 2-3 years ago?
Gosh, I don't know.
2 years ago. It was only 2 years ago. It feels like forever.
I know.
When I saw you across the room.
Yeah. On a cellular level, I think I'm in love with her. I don't know.
Well, that's originally why I called you my wifey, because you were cooking for the event.
Oh, that's right.
The food was amazing. Yes. We discovered the rest later.
Yeah. Yeah, we
like,
kind of clicked.
You should come home with me and be my wife, because
right.
you could cook. Yeah.
So, but 2 or 3 years we've known each other.
Mm-hmm. But forever. And then I'd said before, Adam kind of influenced me putting this on set, because I'm like, why would I put this here? It just kept coming to my head. I'm like, what is that about? Why would I put it there? Who cares? Sara will. So this is my Italian pottery I bought in Germany a few years ago. And Sara and I both love sunflowers, and sunflowers are her connection with Adam.
Yeah, sunflower, as in S-O-N flower.
Yeah, Adam is, so once you get to know Adam likes to show up. Adam likes to mess with things like your GPS when you're in Sedona trying to run a retreat and whatnot. I'm just saying, that boy had it. Do you remember that?
I remember, because you kept texting me and laughing.
Way out of route. And where do we show up? We show up in front of this bright yellow building with bright yellow trucks. I'm like, really, Adam? Seriously? You had to, we could have seen someone nope. He wants us to reroute. I was stressed out already, but well, maybe that's why he did.
That's probably why he did it, so you'd laugh. That's right.
But yes. So we talked about coming on today and talking about the power of the mind. We're both healers. Sara's an amazing Reiki master. I do a different type of energy healing, which I'm going to start teaching soon. I call it quantum healing. And so I thought, I know, where am I? Hello, you're right here. I thought we should talk about the power of the mind. And I start doing research because I want to bring the science in. I like to marry the science with the spirituality. And I've studied this stuff before. And as I'm pulling up quotes and stuff and reminders, I'm like, oh, we should call this the power of the mind and the heart. So we'll go into that a little bit. But, one of the things about the power of the mind is the placebo, nocebo effect, how that works. And it's like, if someone says, hey, Sara's this amazing healer, give her a call. And that person calls, and in their mind, they think she's going to heal this. And that ache is gone. But then you have the next person who says, well, I'm going to call her. It's probably going to take several sessions, but we'll get to work on it. And it does that. It goes slowly. Slowly you start, moving past what the issue is. And then there's the one who just isn't going to wrap their mind around it at all. And they get done with the session and they're like, I want my money back. No, I'm just but you go run with the placebo nocebo effect. You take it.
Right. So like the placebo effect, which is so relevant right now because of the COVID vaccine that they're getting obviously volunteers for across the planet. They're giving half of the dose, half of the those who sign up and volunteer will get a placebo, half will get a vaccine. Of course, this is going to be a timetable for them to figure this out. But I mean, what a great way to have this on world news talking about the placebo effect. And really, when you turn on the TV, it's mostly all fear-based, which all it does is ingrain even more and those thoughts, those subconscious thoughts that, you know, live in fear. So you can go all different ways with the placebo effect, but we don't even understand that the general population doesn't understand how powerful our beliefs are. You know, we're always running on our subconscious because we're always got our monkey mind going on and that we're not good enough. You know, you might even walk into the store and say, oh, I would love to have that. And then say, oh yes, I visualize, I see myself in it, da, 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 da. And then in the back of your thoughts, you think, well, I don't have the money, or I'll, you know, well, I can't have this in my credit card. You know, you come up with all these excuses that just kind of voids it right out. But you don't. So you have to really, really pay attention to and understand your belief systems and see where are they coming from. So that's where the form of meditation, healing, and everything else. So the healing, really, as a healer, Bernadette and I you're healing yourself, but we're giving you step into your own power because we believe in you just as much you would believe in us. So that's kind of like where we're at. And there's many forms of healing. There's no right or wrong. And there's layers and there's many tools out there. It's just getting to the point that you recognize that you've got some emotional struggles to work through, because the emotions are what built up to something physical, mental and physical. And it takes some inner work to get to that place, to recognize everything we've held on to that we don't need to hold on to.
Right. And that's because, you know, what people don't understand is you think with the power of positive thought that your conscious thoughts are only about 5% of the tape that's playing. 95% of your thoughts are subconscious. They just come to you, they swirl into you, they're in the atmosphere, they come from your parents who got it from some, you know what I mean? And that has to be worked on. And that, I mean, I work through that in my self-empowerment classes. I'm sure there's other people who work through that type of thing to help you start to see that. And part of that is, you know, just learning, seeing a video and letting your mind stretch a little bit is sometimes part of that, because those mirror neurons in your brain start to, if I see someone heal themselves, then I know it's almost like it was me who did it. That's what those neurons do. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I did with mediumship. When I realized I could watch other people, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. There's no separation. You know, it's our own stuff that separates us because we've never felt good or whole enough or whatever it is. And so gotta work.
But I want to touch a little more on the nocebo effect, because it's like you said earlier, we kind of got cut off by the rain. I'm just going to be honest. You know, when you go into the doctor's office and the doctor tells you have cancer and you have 6 months to live, get your affairs in order. You know, you start buying the farm with that, you know, okay, I have 6 months. Your mind is very powerful. I have a good example from this. I forgot about this earlier. When I had a scan done and they found I had an ascendant aortic aneurysm, and I went, this is over 10 years ago, okay? I was very young. So I go to the heart doctor, and the heart doctor told me, okay, well, within 10 years, you're gonna be having open heart surgery. And I left that doctor's office and I was, you know, I went through the normal emotions. I was sad, I was angry, when I get angry, that's where, you know, I think I'm a little different in that way. I don't buy what the doctors give me if I don't want it. I just am like that. And I started saying, who the hell does he think he is? Why would you sentence someone? First of all, it's 10 years from now. It's a little ridiculous. You're going to tell me in 10 years I need open heart surgery. How are you going to sentence me to a life of heart failure? You know what I mean? And I went to a different doctor, and this doctor said to me, exactly what I would love to have heard the first time. Oh, I think that's been there your whole life. I don't think there's an issue at all. I think you're fine. You know
Totally
what
different
I'm
scenarios.
totally different, right? Um,
Yeah. But you see how you needed to have that experience so you could learn from that, right? Shake you up and rattle you from go, oh my God, I'm not gonna put up with this. But there's a lot of
oh,
people
I
that
was
are not
angry.
strong enough. And I wouldn't have until I've been through my awakening to like stand up for your own self-empowerment with your own health. Right?
Hmm.
You don't give your power away. You keep searching for answers and figure out what's best for you. Yeah.
Which is it's easy to say when you're not facing something. Of course,
Yes. Right.
I have faced this, but it's easy to say, when you're not facing a life sentence, a death sentence. But it's just something to feed the mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also not having that label, which we talked about earlier, not having that label. So if you go wherever, whether it's the government or the doctor or school or whatever, giving you a label, it's up to you whether you identify with that label or not.
Yeah, because once you own that label, I was talking about that when we got cut off. I had psoriatic arthritis, and the pain is kind of a little bit when you first get your diagnosis. Then you start to own it, okay? And the pain just kind of overtakes you. And I could barely walk in the morning when I got up out of bed. I wasn't like huge or anything. It was just, psoriatic arthritis hits your foot bones and all that. It wasn't new there. It was just that I was starting to really own the label until I, took myself to the healing place. And it's amazing. I decided I'm not taking this crazy medicine anymore. I'm going to heal this. And almost right away, the pain was so much less significant, right?
Right.
It's amazing. It's things like this. We are so powerful, that we can make ourselves smaller, we can make ourselves bigger,
Yeah, it's just hard to get to that point to recognize that because this is
Mhm.
everyday thing we go through, right?
Yes. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Oh
So you got
yeah.
to get to that point of realizing it. And then, of course, and for anyone who's listening to this, we each have our own soul's journey. So those who may have set up, that they were going to face some disease or have a shorter life that we would deem short, that plays into it too. So, but to understand more on a biological level how our body is listening to us, and we can talk to our body. So everything we digest, it goes right through us.
Mhm.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what, Dr. Bruce Lipton, if you haven't read The Biology of Belief, I highly recommend this book. I love this book. I even have it on Audible. I love this book. He talks a lot about epigenetics and how your thoughts and environment can heal you from the inside out. We can control our lives by controlling our perceptions, instead of, people think that we're controlled by our genes, that we have a code, but we are the writers of the code, is what he says. You are the writer of the code. Once you understand that, you can, because, and they've scientifically have proven that they've discovered that genes are the direct cause of about 1% of diseases. 99% of it is how we respond to the world, right?
Right. And we take on that label. Oh, so and so has died of this, this, and this. Chances are, and I've done it in my own family. Chances are you're going to get it because we were raised to believe that. So that's a belief. That thought is ingrained in us. So we got to rewire those beliefs. Yeah,
I agree. Yes. I know. Look at me. Just.
It's okay.
We're leaving it in. I don't care.
To talk about.
We're real people. we are real people. No, I'm sorry.
We are Texans.
We are that too. Maybe we shouldn't claim that right now.
Maybe not, right?
Okay. You go with the
I
next
taught that.
thing.
I'm talking about the healing part of it, the healing journey. So like we talk about, our energy flow. and understanding that when we have these binding thoughts, our beliefs are just a bunch of thoughts you keep thinking over and over. So it's really going in there, that inner work, and understanding, that where our thoughts, where are we subconscious, we'll keep on this a hamster wheel about something in our body, and it's causing, the cause and effect in our body. And right now during the COVID time, it's a lot of it is fear. We're, in the root chakra, but it's still really your solar plexus, everything coming into your power, and understanding that you don't have to follow that same paradigm. You can shift things. It's up to you what you listen to, what you read, what you take in. That's hard because we've had decades of it, but you see how the planet is kind of separating, so we can all come back together.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, there's an energy that is collective, and people, I think, misdirect they have the right idea, they have the right heart, and they want to try to tell other people how to do things. But what is important, what really changes the whole planet, is going inside yourself, changing yourself, being that example. But it's not just an example, it's an energy. It's an energy that you radiate. It's an energy that you're putting out now that's going to kind of change the stream of consciousness. And everyone is responsible for themselves, but we are kind of also responsible for each other. We are one. We are needing to work together on these kinds of things,
right.
But always look to you first. Look inside of you. Yes.
Right. Because when that separation, it's happening for bigger reasons, when we feel separate from someone else because they don't get what we get, we understand, and vice versa. But it's causing for everyone's stuff to come up so you can heal it. But a lot of times we get irritated and we'll say, it's you, but it's really your own stuff. You're projecting it outward.
Oh,
yeah. Projecting it outward. And so you get to that point and you go, oh, that's why, I was very adamant about it. And that you have this is how it is. This is how it is. Well, there's three sides to every opinion. You're going to hear all these different layers and three sides to every story. To kind of step back, it's easy to get caught up in it, right? It's easy to get caught up in everything, but step back and go, how is this affecting my body? Is it making you clench your teeth? You hold it. Is it upsetting your stomach? It's going to affect you somehow. It will affect you somehow when you get irritated. So you've got to work on releasing, and that's where the healing comes in. So you can release, so you can have better flow, energetic flow.
Yes. So, and that brings me to one of the things that kept coming up as I'm pulling up, memories and stuff they said. Bruce Lipton, another great person to look into is Greg Braden.
Oh, I have a crush on him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's amazing. But the thing about him is sometimes he's a little sometimes hard to understand if you're not already at that thinking level. You know what I mean? So I would start with Bruce Lipton, really get your feet wet, and then, but Greg Braden's amazing. And one of the things he talks about is heart mind congruency, and how when we harmonize the heart and the mind, we're able to sorry, my son, we're able to actually do so much more. We're able to get into our DNA and pull the great things out that we're just now starting to discover. And one of the things they talk about is being able to channel consciously whenever, which we can do, but I don't know that we can explain to other people how to do. But there was a discovery in, oh God, I don't want to say the wrong year. Let me look. See. I don't think I wrote the 2009. Okay. Nope, that's not the one I want to talk about.
It's okay.
I think the one.
Whatever. No.
It was sometime. No, there was a discovery in the recent past couple decades about the sensory neurons, there's like 40,000 cells in your heart, right?
Okay.
That are neurons that act kind of like the neurons in your brain, but they're separate. They have their own intelligence in your heart. Now, to me and you, this makes sense, right? We're like, yeah, yeah, because if I use my heart for anything, it always works better. My heart, I
Oh yeah.
know my
Let your
power
heart
is in my
drive you
heart.
instead of your
Yes,
head. Yeah.
I know that if I pull energy in through my heart, it's gonna make my healing work better. I know this kind of stuff. But this is one of the things. So you have the brain in the heart and the brain in the brain, basically, and you make them congruent. Now we all know that most of us are not congruent with the heart and the brain, right? Because of a lot of things like the subconscious thoughts and beliefs. So once they are congruent, you're more in a flow state, right? You have more of a flow state, and you're able to not only just heal yourself, but you can heal other people. You can do things with your own genes that you want to do, reprogram them. I mean, there's so much stuff. I think this is some of the stuff that I want us to work on. I think we should work on, yeah. But and we can do videos later. It's just amazing, once you understand how your mind works, and then you understand how your mind and your heart work together. It just everything changes. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah. Sometimes you forget though who's driving, right? Because your ego steps in and wants to take over. That's the normal process. But the more you practice it, the more it becomes your normal state of being, which is freeing. Because all that can be going on out there. You can be educated and know about it, but it doesn't have to affect you and your body. If you're radiating in a better energy flow, it ripples out and it helps everyone else around you.
Absolutely.
Right? And feel it. And all the viewers, when you want to be, when you walk into a room, which way to go. Do I want to be by that? You just know without even thinking. You just know who you want to be around.
Or if you want to run the hell back out of the room.
Right.
Oh, I'm not going in there.
So you just it's just feeling your way through life versus thinking. When we overthink, we get in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah.
And then we're following those, the old programming of how we were raised and what was expected, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And that's not freeing. That's very binding.
It's not freeing. And there's loops, it's the thing about it is once you start on a thought path, and it's not even real, it's almost like a story you're creating, but you add to it because that's the vibration, that's the wave you jumped on, right? That dude's a jerk. You know what else? I think he looked at me funny. You know what else? I think he's talking about me right now. I think he is. I'm going to call him and I'm going to tell him if he does not stop talking about me. And the dude's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, in my head, you're doing all this stuff. And if you really cared about me, you wouldn't even do it there. Stop.
That's true. Right. And then the law of attraction kicks in because whatever you're thinking about, there's going to be things to reinforce it. So it's going to take you back maybe to a trigger point where someone else did this to you 5 years ago,
Yes.
And it's going to take you back to that and reinforce it so it's happening again. Right.
Which that's a blessing too. Sometimes I've been doing this healing stuff for a long time, and I recently did a video about this. I thought I had healed all my big stuff. I know I didn't heal everything, but I thought I healed all my big stuff. And someone just kept bringing this feeling up to me over and over for months and months, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're so mean to me. You're so mean to me. Now, I call one of my friends and she's like, well, where does this come from? And you find it. You finally give in and you find it and you're like, oh shit.
It's mine. Going
on my whole life. Yeah, that's all me.
It's me as projecting outward, right? We're all projectors, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel better here, and then you'll feel better outward to others, right? Yeah.
Yes. Everything's energy. Quantum physics says, that's basically what quantum physics says. You don't have to read all that crazy stuff. Everything's energy. I love quantum physics, but it can be a little trying.
It's over my head. So I go with the practical, but I love it, but I have to go with the practical.
Yeah, it basically says everything is energy. Everything is energy. We think everything is matter, and that's part of the problem right there. So I just, I hope this can maybe open some people's minds a little bit. I think I'm like, did I hit all my talking points?
Open people's minds so we can read each other's minds. I'm just joking. So it's kind of like, like I posted that video about Bruce Lipton and you had already planned on talking about him, which I didn't know that. So there you go. So it just kind of like paths cross.
There's an energy connection. Of course, we're both thinking we're going to talk to each other today. Of course, we can both kind of dip into each other's energy. Well, I mean, we're healers anyway. We're used to playing with energy, but this is so possible for everybody, even if you think you're not psychic, you can always dip into someone's energy.
Yeah.
I don't recommend doing this as a kind of a nosy art, but I mean, if you're worried, you want to know how your sister's doing, you just
kind of feel into the energy.
Yeah.
With your pet or your baby, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. You feel into it, but if you're programmed and always going to the worry side, that's what you're going to get. So you got to reprogram it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Make it fun. Mm-hmm.
What else do you have?
Like I can read my notes?
Yeah, read them.
I can't read them.
That's why I rewrote all mine. Look at this. Look, I'm just going to show everyone. There's mine. So I rewrote those. Yeah.
Really, it's really about, getting into your subconscious mind. You're acting out as if that's what's running you, right? Because we're all like walking smartphones. But some of us, we're like, what's going on? We're just going through the
older models,
right? Yes, the old flip phones. So we're just like we're just in this COVID time, as a lot of us have been able to spend time at home, getting to know ourselves and our family members and doing different things that we've put off that we didn't want to deal with. So it's getting really in there into understanding that, oh, well, I thought, if I worked at this job that, they really needed me and or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're going like, I really don't want to go back to work there. Let me look into another area of the field or whatever. There's different things are coming up that were there, always there within you. You just weren't recognizing. You just weren't recognizing. So this is a powerful time for people to really let go of some limited beliefs that they have about themselves and about how powerful their thoughts are. Right?
Yes. And also to clean their house.
Decluttering your space is decluttering your mind. It's really decluttering.
It is, yeah.
It is. It's kind of like when you clean out your closet. Boy, I feel so good. I just accomplished something. You could be doing something amazing at work, but if you clean your closet, it's just a release. It's a release.
You know what I think when I do that?
What?
Now I have room for more clothes.
More clothes. You probably find clothes that you didn't even know you had.
I don't find too many of those. I don't overbuy.
You just love clothes.
I do love clothes. Yeah. I need some clothes. I'm wanting some. Okay, we're gonna go on.
We're just go on about our own stuff. But see, this is uplifting. Just us chatting is uplifting. Everything going on in the world, we can just talk about closets. Okay.
Yeah, I need to do that in this office. Something. Whenever I think let's talk about this. Whenever I think to come in the office and do this, I just can't. What is that? I can't do it.
Well, first off, it needs to be done, right? And we all are wired differently. Don't you remember, like, you back when you do homework, it's like, do you do your favorite, the easiest subject first, or you do the hardest one first? You know what I mean? We're all programmed a certain way to do things, right? It's kind of like, and how we do everything around the house. If it's out of sight, out of mind, it's okay. Or we're frustrated.
I'm a slow one. I do things slowly around the house. So I'll do, okay, I have to clean my whole house. But you know what? I'm gonna work on the dining room today. And tomorrow I'll get up and I'll take care of this or that. Because to me, what I've learned is when you stress yourself out, for me, if I stress myself out, I'm never cleaning the damn house again. Do you understand me?
Right?
If I get done cleaning the house and I can't even walk, it's never happening again. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anyway.
It's all our different personalities, the all or nothing or not or whatever. I like to tidy up the whole house, and then if I want to dig in deeper, but there's something about I have to like tidy up all the living area first, and that's my way versus going to one room and just delving into that one only. It's just the way it.
Well, that's how I do the dusting and the floors. Yeah, the dust that you dust everything first, wipe it down, and then maybe tomorrow or the next day you do.
Or the next day, or the next day,
or
or the
you
next
get
day,
your son to do it.
Right.
That's my favorite.
But it is all about reprioritizing anyway. So if it's not, but it does make you feel better when you declutter, because you find stuff too. Might be stuff that maybe you don't, it's a memory of things, or, like Adam just said, maybe clothes that don't fit you anymore. That's me, right? Like, oh, I'll never wear those jeans again. So it's time to pass them on.
Even if I did fit in them, they're
not in style anymore.
Yeah.
So
they're from the 90s.
So like what Adam's saying is that this video is just for us to kind of open up and to help other people just open up and start thinking about deeper thoughts on really what programs are they running.
Yes.
Just kind of touch base with yourself now. What's going on in the back? Who's talking? Is that negative self-talk? You don't have to believe it. What's going on? Where's that coming from?
Yeah, and for the subconscious stuff, I just feel the need to say this. You might not be hearing talk or whatever, but where's your mood at? And then you can kind of follow that. So if you're in a bad mood, but there's not bad self-talk going on, kind of do a little meditating and follow that rope and try to clear that kind of thought process up in whatever way you can.
Yeah, that one.
Sometimes it's just an energy, right?
Yeah. And that just came up too, because a lot of us, like I was raised, like if you're not doing something, if you're not productive, then you're wasting time. Right? So it was like I had to rewire that part about the meditation and being quiet, and it was okay not to do anything for 3 or 4 hours. Like, oh, this was a big one. So it was like I picked that up from, growing up. Obviously, that's the way. It's like you work hard to get what so
this is a big one. Let me add to that, because who my main guide is. Okay, my main guide spent months on that one with me, because I'd be like, he'd be like, let's do some meditating. We can do some meditating. Well, I got to do this. Do you? Yeah, I got to get this done. This needs to get. Does it? If your floor is a little dirty, is the whole world going to come to an end? But so it kind of stops you and makes you think, why do we think that and I'm saying this, especially women, why do we think that we're on some damn ethereal time clock and we got to do shit a certain way? Why do you think you have to have dinner done at 5 o'clock on the dot every day?
Thank you. Ooh. Thank you. Leave It to Beaver and all those sitcoms. That's right.
Why do you think that your house has to be completely I'm not, good housekeeping is not coming here to take pictures, okay? Like, you can have something sitting out somewhere, and we have to reprogram ourselves from that. And my guide did that, and we're kind of lucky in that way. We have so much guidance, and mine would, he was constantly, do you need to do that?
Right.
I think I do.
I know. Then you go through guilt. Then you go through guilt, because that's how we're programmed to feel guilty, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the whole thing about the closet, that's a whole nother level. But yes, my theory is, like, if you declutter, you know, you've got stuff you're not utilizing. If it's not stuff you're utilizing, let someone else utilize it.
Yes.
That
I
thought
agree with
process,
that.
right?
Yes.
You know, if it's stuff, you know, you want to keep because it's a keepsake, fine. But if it's, for me too, of course, I have a lot of Adam's childhood things, you know, in this closet, matter of fact. But I know it's there, and I have boxed him in certain boxes. So it's not like a fear of, you know, if any of the other viewers see it, you know, it's like, it's not like that's like a trigger or something if I find something, right?
I see Adam in a box going like this. He's such a dork.
He's in a box, right?
Cardboard box.
Because you don't need the material things. You hold on to what, you know, it's a keepsake for you, but obviously it's a different place. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need those
Well,
things.
I think we did. Did you hit all your notes?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh yeah, talking about, the one last thing though, another time too, about when you're feeling uncomfortable. So like you're having those times where you're like, I don't know what to do with myself, and you're feeling uncomfortable because you're so used to having set for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you feel vulnerable, is where you're going to learn more about yourself. Where is this thought coming from? Oh yeah, I remember this happening to me. Or at work when they, you know, I didn't finish a job, you know, on time or whatever, that feeling you get, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have all your ducks in a row or whatever. So, you know, when you feel uncomfortable, there's something to learn, because that's where you're going to grow.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And you have even if you don't have a job or you don't have a spouse, I have a disabled dog, and you just reminded me of that lesson. You know, I have a disabled dog, and anyone who knows him, he's spoiled rotten. He steals everybody's heart. If you come near him, forget about it. You're all about Scout. But that was one of the things, you know, and I had to do this on my own. No one was like, well, you don't have to. I felt like I had to do something you know, there had to be because he's a lab. I had to have this total routine, and I have to make sure he's happy. No, the heck I don't. You know, you finally start letting go. His front legs don't work, but right now I would have never done this. He's just laying on my bedroom floor. And I'm not even worried. You know what? If he wants to get up and move around, he can scoot himself around. He knows how to do that. Why, you know, but you spend so much time, you know, we have guilt over things like that, like my disabled dog, like, oh, I have to do this. No, you know what I mean? And a lot of times the dog will give you the lesson, but dogs truly are not, you know, they don't want to tie you down. They don't want you to feel like you have to do this, this, and this, you know. This is just a lesson for you. And then that took me a long time.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a mommy lesson. Even with the dog, that's a mommy lesson. Yeah.
Yes. It took a long time. But yes. So being out of your comfort zone is really where you learn your power.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you're playing a different program when you're out of your comfort zone. That's right. You're playing a different track on your 8-track. You're just playing a different track. You're going,
Why you gotta be an 8-track, really?
And so it's like you're playing that song, you're playing like, you know, whatever, track 2 that you never listened to, and you're going, oh, I kind of like that. Never listened to it. I always went to like, you know, 4 and 6 only or whatever.
Because you knew all the words, right?
Yeah,
so how are you gonna you can't listen to one you don't know all the words to.
This is Journey. That was 8-track. I see Journey. It's a Journey one. Oh, the wheel in the sky.
I love the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I love Journey. I love Journey. Yay, good one.
So yeah. Well, thank you. That was fun.
Thank you.
A lot of chit chat and a lot of giggling, but it was fun. So I hope everyone enjoys it. And this was just a good starting point. So have fun.
Yes.
Go from here.
We'll do some more. I love you.
I love you too, wifey.
My wifey, husbandy. Hold on.